The sound wasn't on, so. All right, now your sound's on.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
I can wait. Keep going.
No. It's the sound. Everything's live.
Oh,
I'm
let's
just
go.
gonna.
All right. So I would like to call to order the Governance Committee meeting for UCIDA. It's March 10th, 2026, 4:08 p.m. May I please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
May I please have a roll call? Constable Hall present. Ms. Silverman?
Present.
Mr. Kelly?
Present.
Thank you. Everybody's present. Maybe I could have a review of the minutes from January 12th meeting and get a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of minutes. Done. Any public comment?
No.
No? All right. We don't need an executive session. And are you good?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So there are a few. So for the whole meeting, we can keep it pretty short, actually. Some catch-up items. One here, which is related to the housing matrix, which we were going to refine, and a little bit on projects where there's some late fees that we need to think about. So existing business or old business, if we could just, I think, have the council provide comments on what they have made changes to the housing matrix, and that'll be a first start for all of us, and that'll be most efficient.
Yep.
Hey, Chris.
Sorry, Chris. I don't know if you heard that.
So I was just saying,
Yeah.
I understand. I was simply saying that we have a few comments from your team on the existing housing matrix as we wanted to refine it as we had directed you. And it might be a good idea to just provide a summary of that to all of us so we understand where we are and what we need to do.
Yeah, so we're on the, sorry, folks, we're on the IDA.
Yes, IDA,
We're on, yeah, discussion of the housing matrix draft.
page
So,
5.
yeah, if you want to
So-
just go through some of the language changes. Page 7, yes.
What is this? Oh, this is old. Sorry. Page 7.
Full disclosure, Shannon did a lot of this work rather than, not trying to cover it.
That's great.
So you see in the second paragraph, we talk about determination each proposed housing project qualifies as a commercial project. It's just cleaning up the language and say at least 10% of the total units. That's kind of the baseline 10%, right?
Yep.
To do a project. And then we get into a little bit on page 9 of kind of modifying it so the point system's adjusted to reflect kind of the needs of what people are looking for. I did notice that the environmental sustainability section requiring at least 75% of the raw materials were obtained within the county. So I think that's something that was discussed previously. It makes sense to me. And then the number of point system, the right side, the 4 units set aside. At least 50% of the total units are affordable. It was 10 before, now it's 15%. So because 10% is the baseline just to do any kind of IBA project for housing, this gives them the opportunity to basically get more points. I think that's the gist of it, right?
That's right.
So 15% for that. And then if you go down the right side, affordable units, at least 16% and less than 20 get you more points instead of 20%. And then over 20% gets you the maximum number of points. So I think that the overall premise here is to make the point system a little bit more, I don't want to say generous, but they get higher points based on a slightly lower bar for these projects.
I feel like we make it more accessible.
More accessible.
More accessible, reflecting the needs of the community.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also we are setting a bar where you have to pass the 10%, not just comply with what's the local regulation. So, and then we are also adding something in excess of. So that I think is fine. One thing I wanted to go back to for the commercial point, is that the language we were seeking? And that works for us? I'm looking at
So
Hillary here.
that's fine. So yeah, so going back, and I think just to clarify, Chris, before we get too off, away from this, one of the other reasons we changed the point threshold on the affordable was because there are many other tools and, that projects building primarily affordable housing can seek. So those projects really weren't coming to us.
Correct.
So we wanted to try to encourage projects that would come to the IDA to build more affordable housing within their project. So going back to page 1, the commercial,
7.
page 7, sorry. What was your question about the commercial?
I just want to make
Sorry.
sure that we agree on the language, and that's the
Oh.
language we were going to be comfortable with, because then it qualifies the commercial very clearly.
Yes.
Commercial aspect very clearly, sorry.
So one of the things, Chris, just as to why we wanted this additional language in here is that, as you know, the IDA does the commercial findings resolution as part of its evaluation for these housing projects, but which may be clear to the board members during the review of an application process, but we really wanted that language to be clear up front to potential projects, so they know that there are additional requirements of documents that need to be submitted in addition to the application. So we just want to make sure that the language in there serves that purpose.
I think it does.
Okay.
I think it does serve that purpose.
Okay,
Okay.
so for the board, are we okay with any of these? Any questions? Because I'm generally okay. This is kind of along the lines we talked about.
It's exactly what we talked
And
about.
unless there's some language revision, which otherwise I'm fine.
No, I'm fine with it.
Actually, I did have one question. Not to nitpick, but just curiosity, because of similar thing as we did with commercial. Energy efficient does not need to be clarified or defined. What do we mean by energy efficient?
So can I just
And
jump in here, Chris,
yes,
real quick? So we have energy efficient defined in our regular matrix. So we've been using that, and I guess we could probably just pull that language onto this. And it
yeah, we can
gives
lift it
a
from
kind
there.
of like a whole list of types of qualifying energy efficiency that would be, and again, a lot of that can be subject to the project and then the board's review of that. But usually we have council give it a first pass of whether or not that would potentially count, and then, we bring it to you guys. So
Because if everybody recalls, we had that question from our planning department at one point when we were initially launching the matrix, and what do we refer to as efficient was kind of questioned. So I just want to make sure we address that now.
Yeah, I can double check that again.
If it's simply as simple as just lifting it from the matrix, I'm fine with that. And I'm okay with moving forward with this, and just with the exception that we add that, or
Yeah,
requirement that we
sure.
add that.
because it's pretty, I think,
Thorough.
I don't have it in front of me, but it's very thoroughly defined in the regular matrix, so.
All right. So do we want to seek a motion to approve these and accept for recommendation to the board next time, or do we want to wait?
So just
Chris?
question, Chris, would the process be that it goes to the board and then goes out for public hearing? Or go to the board, come back to this committee,
Why would it come back to this committee? We go to
in
the board
case
and
the
get
board
approved.
wants changes, I don't
If the board
know.
wanted changes, then it would come back.
Then it would come back, yeah.
But if the
let's,
board liked it,
I
then it
think
could just be
the next
approved.
step would be for the governance committee to recommend to the full board that
Right.
a public hearing be
Yep.
held
Okay,
with respect to the proposed changes to
Yep.
the housing matrix.
great.
So moved.
All
Second.
right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we are recommending to the full board that the amendments to the matrix be accepted as presented, in addition to the discussion we had regarding energy efficiency clarification, and then we proceed to a public hearing. All right.
Great,
Thank you.
all right.
So that was old business. Anything else I missed?
that's
No?
it.
On the new business, I'm going to hand it to Hillary because there are a few late fee entities
Yep.
where we need to go back to and request that payment. And there might be a related discussion that we can pick it up as well.
So Chris, I have, just to fill you in and the rest of the board, I have with me just some notes on projects. As you know, all projects have to report to us annually by January 31st. That includes their annual certification and then all of the verifying documents. So they have to submit payroll reports, insurance documents, New York State 45s, all, and their annual, they pay an annual fee as well to the IDA. So I remind them about 85 million times. So it's not as that there is no one that didn't have ample time. So then we went through and I just made notes of kind of who submitted late. We do have a same late fee policy, higher late fees to really kind of encourage people. And I made people well aware. So not only was that highlighted on the letter that they received, it was also emailed to them, and I printed out a copy of the late fee policy and changes and also sent it to them. So no one was, this isn't catching anyone off guard. It's just the point I want to highlight.
Yeah, quick question though. So if there's a late fee for them not providing their annual report that you need for Paris filing?
Yes,
All right.
that's correct. So we'd like to assess late fees on the following projects, KARG 2. This is the formerly Kingston Medical Properties. It's the addition, one of the buildings over at the Mary's Ave site. And they submitted their paperwork on 2/20. We're still waiting on their annual fee as of today.
So we have it, we just got it late.
We got paperwork late, 2/20, so that's the middle fee.
How much are the fees?
I believe they are, I think we upped it to $1,000 if it's after the 31st, 1,500 if it's after February 15th, and then anything received after March 1st or March 1st or after is 2,000.
So it sounds like 1,500.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's the middle tier fee for that one. Although we're still waiting on their annual fee, they haven't paid that yet. So, you know,
They gotta pay that too.
yeah, and they
Cool.
report late every single year. So I'm not, feeling very giving on that one.
Not too generous, huh?
Yeah. The next one is the Marlboro District Route 9 LLC. This is out in Marlboro. It's known as PODS project. They submitted their paperwork on 2/4, so not super late, but they paid their annual fee on time and then stopped payment on the check.
Maybe they didn't have enough money.
I don't know. They said that they didn't feel that we justified the fee, even though we've been charging this fee since they've had a project with us. And like I said, I send out stacks of documents showing the fee. They still have not reissued that check. And
So it's after March 1st. So
it's after March
$2,000.
1st. And additionally,
On
their
top of
job
it.
numbers are sitting at below performance, and they have not submitted their payroll reports to support the job numbers, nor have they answered my request for an explanation as to why they haven't made their job numbers. So
Can we claw back the money?
Well, there might be more to this one that maybe we should
this
discuss
is
it,
kind of
but
just like a first pass as to where this is. I
Okay.
think when it comes to enforcement, we may want to move formal things to the audit committee, because that's kind of the audit committee's like.
Cool.
But I wanted to let you guys know, we want to at least assess the late fee of the $2,000, because at this time we're still missing payroll reports and we still have not received their annual fee. And then additionally, I did check with the bank. There was no fee to the IDA that was charged for the stop payment. But, again, this is administrative time chasing this. So I don't
Right.
know if there's any way we can assess an additional penalty for that maneuver.
Well, I think we have, didn't we
wasn't
already
paid.
add administrative fees for the purpose of having to enforce any of our
Extraneous work.
projects. Didn't we add that
We
last year?
added a better defined administrative fee structure, but it was really not for non-compliance, or it didn't cover explicitly stop payment, because I don't think we ever
Well,
saw that
stop payment
coming.
means it
Right.
wasn't
Yeah, I
paid.
think it was
Right.
more
For like
But
It
he's
wasn't
right.
paid. It
closing.
wasn't paid.
Oh.
But he's
They put a
right.
stop
You
work
don't.
on
You
it,
didn't pay
it
the
wasn't
fee,
paid.
so it's
If it
unpaid
bounced,
fee.
it wasn't paid. It
Oh,
wasn't,
I know it
Yeah, so
wasn't
it's
paid.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So-
as simple as that. So it's not compliance. It's
not-
literally it's not paid.
it's not paid.
Yeah.
So we would have to assess the fee that it.
Oh, so
that
yeah,
wasn't paid.
I've resent them the invoice. They keep giving me the runaround as to why it's not paid. It's been like 6 weeks at this point, and she just keeps kind of, saying, "Oh, we're working on it. Sorry about that. Thanks for your patience."
Are they viable?
It's a Mike went out there. He did a site visit. Again, they're supposed to be reporting total number of jobs that they had kind of promised.
How many they promised?
The IDA was original jobs to be created and retained was 24, and they reported 7, and they haven't even substantiated that with payroll documents. So I don't even know if that's accurate.
How long have they been a project?
I think they've got, I want to say
2 years left.
No, yeah, I think they have 2 or 4 years left. I might be confusing. They're just a 10-year pilot. So they're on the second half of
And
the
it's a
pilot.
storage facility?
It's pods, so yeah, it's like a warehouse. People rent these like trailer things. So the majority of the jobs are like drivers, forklift operators, warehouse managers. So, they're not,
Sorry, when did that deal close, Hillary?
I I would look, but then I might lose you or the live stream.
We'll send it to you later, yeah.
Yeah, I asked because the date, when that closed will depend on whether they entered a uniform project agreement.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So after 2015, I think.
Yeah, I would definitely after 2015, I'm pretty sure.
So while we're talking here, one option would be in putting aside the late fee. I mean, if they're missing their job numbers, we have flexibility in the documents where we can either, kick the pilot back on the taxable roll, or we can have them come in and talk about why they're missing their job numbers. So it's just food for thought. We could have them arrange for them to come in and tell us why they're meeting their job.
And also this is going to come up in audit, so
Mhm.
we need to just be mindful if there is something that's not meeting our requirements, we got to take action.
Yeah, I did offer and suggest, say, hey, would you like to come in? I said that I basically sent them an email just letting them know. I screenshotted all their reports to them and then told them that feel free to send a representative to a meeting or supply us with information, and sent them our agency enforcement of project policies. And that was on February 26th. I sent her that email. Still nothing, no response.
And frankly, the first one seemed more giving a go around using bureaucracy that we don't know the policy. So
yeah.
But all right, so I think we're
Okay.
good on this. If we can send that to
Yeah, I'll
Chris,
send that over to you, Chris, and then maybe we can discuss it at the board meeting.
Yeah, but I wanted to circle on the late fees.
Okay.
I mean, do you want us to prepare demand letters?
Not for the late fees. Usually what we've done in the past is just have the board
Authorize.
kind of assess the late fees, and then we have Matt create an invoice and we send them out. I think it's when there's still ongoing non-compliance around projects and project performance where
I'm just saying if they haven't paid if you're owed a late fee and they have it, sometimes a letter from whether we
Yeah.
What I think we can do is, I'm suggesting to the committee here that we can make a recommendation to the rest of the board and say we would like to assess a fee, and we can take your opinion at that time in terms of what needs to specifically happen.
Works for me.
Works?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
And that'll give you some time too, hopefully.
Yeah, to kind of think on this,
All right.
and we'll see what they respond to as well. It gives us a few weeks just to see. And then the additional ones are just ones, again, paperwork received late. Stavo Industries, they had some management turnover, very challenging there, but he did finally get everything to me and gave me a big phew at the end. I received everything from them on 227. Wolf Tech 219, we received their that's JBT. We received their paperwork, and then the greenhouses is another one. I'm a little like, we got all of their paperwork, Chris, on time. This is just their slow season, and as he explained to myself in the chair when we went on a site visit, the way that they collect, so they're an event space, they do primarily like weddings and large events, and the way they collect their deposits for the season can run into just some cash flow issues in the winter, and they had, I don't know, something to do with the landscape, or not landscaping, some sort of driveway creation, created additional,
This is the one on the edge of
this is out in
towards
Gardner.
Middletown, Gardner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, they did submit all their paperwork on time. They just didn't pay the fee until March 3rd. Additionally, though, it did kind of hold up us getting our report out to the auditors because we have to report all the pilot payments made, and they were late on paying their 2026 town and county pilots, but they have been made. I did get them on that.
All right.
So I don't know if we want to assess the late fee on this, or, this one I'm on the fence on. 'Cause we did get the paperwork, but again, with the cash flow issues, I don't know.
Again, my suggestion would be let's recommend to the board all these, we can review them with the board,
Okay.
and the board can decide, because some of these were done quite a few years ago, right?
What do you mean? Some of them are old pilots.
Old
Oh,
pilots.
yeah.
Right, so
But we
there
still have
might
to
be some
report
legacy. Yes, exactly.
every year, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so
okay.
may I seek a motion to recommend to the board a review of any late fees and any potential assessment or any penalties that we need to take action on? Does that work, Chris?
Does that work as a
All right.
motion? Okay.
So moved.
I need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And
All
that's
right,
I
so
had for-
that's all we have for the idea, unless there's anything else you guys would like to discuss? No?
No.
All right, so may I please seek a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. IDA Governance Committee meeting as of March 10th adjourned.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Ready when you are.
May I please call to the order the meeting for Governance Committee, Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation, March 10th, 2026, 4:30 p.m. I'll take a roll call. Mr. Kelly?
Present.
Ms. Silverman?
Present.
Constable present. All right. We have a quorum. May I please seek a review of the approval of the minutes from January 12th, and then seek a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes from January 12th have been approved for UCCRC Governance Committee meeting. Any public comment? No? We don't need an executive session? Old business. All right. So there are two things we wanted to discuss, and we have already discussed the loan fund. We saw the term sheet. We generally agreed to pretty much all the things we were talking about. Chris and Shannon have taken a quick crack at putting all that in a format that will be presented as a draft. Maybe I can have you, Chris, quickly go through again succinctly, just see what's in here, if that's okay. Or Shannon.
Sure. I will say that this is on me. Shannon did have comments on this, which I ran out of time to look at.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the CRC is the entity that can loan funds out, not the IDA. It's much more rigid in what you can use IDA funds for. As you can see below, there's the different loan fund structures in terms of the loan amounts, $10,000 to $50,000. There's an interest rate that's specified. I didn't know if that was subject to change. Sometimes I've seen these CRC make loans for 0% interest, and sometimes they do it for a certain percentage. It sounds like the will of this board, of the committee rather, is to have a actual interest rate earned on the loans. Is that correct?
Yes, mainly to cover costs, that the basic cost we have, there's nothing extraneous. We are simply saying that we should be able to cover the basics. So it's not a 0%, and it wouldn't be prudent to the taxpayers either. So this is actually simplistic. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm on page 9.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eligible uses of funds, new construction, site improvements, also working capital, so it's not limited to CapEx. And then there's ineligible uses of funds, media, refinancing existing debt, investments, all that makes sense that they shouldn't use CRC funds for something like that. So there would need to be a completed CRC loan application, which I believe Shannon's working on.
Yep.
And there'd be a $100 fee, which, I guess that would, I'm used to $500 to $1,000 fee. This is a little different animal. That's for a project through the idea of the CRC.
Yeah, these are for small projects that
Yeah.
we're trying to help,
Exactly.
not for profits.
Yep. So this lines up with some of the other ones I've seen for my CRC clients. There is a policy. I think that makes sense. You want to have a documented record. You want to have discussion on record, in an open session about why this particular applicant deserves a loan from the CRC. So I think this is in decent shape. I guess the question is, setting up the application. This isn't, follow to bed, prepare a loan fund. It's a little bit of work. So I guess the question my question was rather, would it make sense for us to do a little more revising of the application, rather than recommend this full tilt to the full CRC board? Because, we want to prepare the application as well. I know there are some revisions here we'd like to make in this summary. So
this is my take only.
Yeah.
I would say we have been looking at this for quite some time, so I do think we should try to present something to the full board. And again, it's my take. It's open to discussion. I would like to at least review it with the full board with the idea that this is where it stands right now. We can either get ready to vote right now, or we can wait for the application. However, the application should be quite consistent with what we have sought after, or what we have sought in the past application or other application processes. So I'm assuming it won't be that different. So my suggestion would be maybe we review this with the rest of the board, so at least they have some comfort in that we're moving forward.
Yeah.
Especially spring is here.
I think we should ask them for approval.
Yeah.
And then that way the loan, the application document
You're right.
should be following the policy that we approved. And then we could review that, and if it doesn't, for some reason, which seems very unlikely, we could reject it. But otherwise, I would think we just proceed.
I actually like that. It might even provide some guide rails if we need some.
But can we use at least the version that has Shannon's?
Yes.
Yes,
edits
absolutely.
included, as opposed to this one?
Yeah, and I think some
So-
things that I took some liberties on, which again, we haven't gotten Chris or Shannon's feedback, so I think before they just clean it up, I just want to confirm with the committee that these were things we hadn't gotten into yet. They were really just ideas that I had kind of seen other similar CRCs doing. So again, we talked about having a loan committee made up of, members who could help review these as a way to keep costs down. And so there was a template on page 13 that another CRC was using, where for smaller loans or loans that had maybe are really safe loans, the loan committee could go ahead and just approve those to kind of slow down the time it takes to get the money kind of out into the community. And then I think they were doing like quarterly updates to the board on what loans were out, how much is out, and I'm not saying you have to do that structure, but in this draft, that's the structure. So I think we just want to confirm what structure we would like to have before they finalize any drafts.
So
for the
generally, I'm
committee.
okay with it because it should have some kind of threshold,
Mhm.
because not everything should come to the board.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
And that this allows for it. I have not gone through it.
But
I
don't we
know
have
Rachel
a
is going through it.
$10,000 minimum on our
Yes.
policy?
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
one I
so
was
that's what I was
looking
gonna
at.
say. I copied this, so I didn't
Okay.
even.
So why don't we propose this?
Thank
Why
you.
don't we propose this?
Yeah,
Maybe we can seek a vote to, or a motion to recommend the amended draft, cleaned up draft, because in
Yeah.
Yeah,
premise, we are here
right.
and it just needs some cleanup and making sure that we can have it available for the board to discuss as the next version.
okay.
Yeah?
That's fine.
All
That's
right.
fine. And we can get out the Shannon's tweaks. I can
Yeah.
get those out.
And we have some time till 25th now, right?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we have
do,
a
we have
little.
plenty of time
Yeah.
to get it cleaned
All
up,
right.
whatever it needs.
Yeah.
I mean, conceptually, and, you know, it looks very good to me. I
Yeah.
don't see any reason that we would delay another month. I don't see a reason.
I
to
agree.
Yeah, and this is really what Columbia County
Yeah, 25, yeah.
is doing. So this is a tested,
Yeah.
you know, so another entity is kind of
All right.
tested
So I'll
this
seek a
process,
motion
so
for
great.
what I just said.
Okay,
So moved.
Second,
all
All
right,
right. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
great.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we will revise this to clean up and then we will present it to the board and recommend that we review, seek an approval, and then work on the application after that.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. All right. Um, Discussion of UCCRC policy. I
I
believe
could
this is
just
the one.
give an update.
Yes.
That's where we're at. Okay,
Yes.
so this was one I just really wanted to get the, I guess, temperature of the committee on kind of some just very, very preliminary discussions we had at our last committee meeting. And I, you know, when writing the minutes, I realized there was really no consensus. So I didn't prepare anything, but I didn't know if you guys wanted to continue the
All right. So
conversation. I was just gonna tell you what the two are real quick.
go
And
ahead.
then, so one was on the potential of a local labor policy as it applies to CRC projects. I know this is one that I think we really should weigh because it can go, you know, there's considerable thought on each side. And then the second was just, I know Shannon has kind of started the consideration of doing a separate application for the UCCRC projects, and if there were any thoughts to the committee on that. Okay,
So
and I'm
I
done.
will take the first one because we did have a discussion a little
Yes.
bit, but we were not able to talk about it much. It was last minute. I thought about it quite a lot. Hillary and I had a discussion as well. I'll be just outright. I kind of am in the same boat as what Steve mentioned last time, that he's not in favor. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I just wanted to make sure that we actually had a discussion rather than agreeing or disagreeing and moving forward, which is what was making the minutes difficult. So we just need to revisit it and make sure that we have made a decision on whether we do agree or disagree on having a labor policy, local labor policy for UCCRC or not, because it can be challenging, in my opinion, and I'm agreeing with Steve, for not-for-profit organizations, making it more onerous, not only as expensive, but also to find labor to get things done.
and a lot of these, I don't think we need to do that.
Now, having said that, is there anything that I'm asking Steve and you, is there anything that we might be missing that we should think about that could be a positive as well? I'm not in favor of doing this, to be very clear, but I just want to make sure
A
we didn't,
positive if we did
if
have the
we did have
policy.
it, so it should outweigh the, if not, that's, no,
I think
right?
we're tying the hands and delaying the
Yeah.
project. If we're approving a project, we should, you know, we should be helping the not-for-profit to be able to give them, it doesn't mean that they can't use any local labor. In fact, most of them probably
more
will.
likely
Yeah,
to.
we can encourage
And I don't
that.
think we have to tell them to do it. Let the market decide, and they will probably. I just don't think we should have an opinion on it and a requirement.
All right, I agree.
I agree. My only question is, do we have any sort of obligation in this role as the IDA to have a policy? Is it okay for us to not require that?
Chris?
I don't know
So
if I
you're
asked that
talking about the
correctly.
CRC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is no legal requirement. I would say the vast majority of our CRC, LDC clients do not have a specific policy for their CRC. There are exceptions. Some Erie County IDA is an example, but for the most part, there is not a separate policy for tax exempt bond issuances through a CRC. for the project applicant, the borrower, to follow a CRC labor policy.
Yeah, and we can encourage the use of local labor, and we also will have the benefit of reviewing the application. So we can definitely say, and somebody's using a team from maybe New York City versus Liberty in Ellenville, I'd favor the Liberty team. It's kind of a
So
local community.
I have two questions really for Chris, but one is, does it matter what the structure of the CRC project is? So, if for a bond issuance, when there's really no, abatement happening, there's no pilot, right? And we're looking to try to help a nonprofit get a lower interest rate, then that may be one where, again, we're not looking to enforce local labor. But if there's a different type of structure, and I'm just, Romeo Kia comes to mind, which was a leaseback project through the CRC, and I do believe we did monitor the labor in that. And do we
The
have a
Romeo Kia is
requirement?
Well, that was
CRC?
a, that was a
I know,
that
just
was
like,
I was not part
horse of a
that
different
deal.
color.
Only
I can
reason-
shed some light on that deal.
Yeah, go
That
ahead.
deal started as an IDA deal and there were some political issues, so that's why it went through the CRC, and I think that one really was a one-off.
okay,
But the reason that one has labor monitoring is because it was meant to be an IDA project.
all right.
Yep.
So we can still enforce it on a per project basis if needed.
Sure, but no one ever really comes to the CRC for anything except bond issuances.
Yeah,
So
no, I
Right.
figured as much. Okay.
We had to, but the Romeo is a real outlier. So it's,
Yep.
Well, now not to pull hair, but now we'll have an application for loan fund too. So just to give Hillary credit for that, yes.
And then just, I think, second, to piggyback off this, it's really just so I know what my responsibility is. Are we required for them to ensure the CRC the same way? We make sure that all of the construction workers, even the subs on site, have the appropriate insurance. God forbid someone gets hurt. Do we have the same?
Yes.
I didn't think it's structured like that. Okay. I didn't think so, but I just wanted to make sure before we put this to bed.
The answer was
okay.
no.
Your answer is no, right?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't think so, but just wanted to.
Yes, no.
Yes, no. Yes.
No, I was saying yes to have, yes.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
you are correct, not me.
All right. So that we can.
Yeah?
So then there's
You-
no motion, right?
No.
We're not.
So you're
okay.
comfortable with everything
I'm
that we
good
have?
where we're at.
All
yes.
right. Actually, that brings me to a quick question. Do we need to amend anything in the minutes, since we did mention that minutes were nothing, right?
No, the
Because
minutes
everything
is
is
just
stated
a-
as such.
The minutes were
All
just
right.
a summary of the discussion,
no-
but there was no action other
Yep.
than we'll talk about this again
Yep.
one day.
So
Yep.
no action was taken on the on the policy discussion,
Yep.
and that's it.
Okay.
Any new business?
No.
No new business. I think I am ready to adjourn. So if I may seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
All right.
UCCRC meeting, March 10, 2026,
All right.
adjourned.